Welcome to Burgin's 5 Stars. We're live here, episode 26. 5 Stars has been rocking and rolling. Because, like I said, I like always basing a lot of it off the show and current events, which had me thinking because the NBA Finals. Indianapolis, it's a bigger city. Oklahoma City, not so much. How will the Finals be without a big market city in it? And where will the ratings be? But also, when given a chance, some of these places like San Antonio, Oklahoma City, really have captivated their crowds and their fan bases to become some of the better cities in the NBA. And we talked about the Florida Panthers being a great hockey team. When hockey really is probably not a topic of conversation much in the southern panhandle of Florida. So I'm going to give my 5 spots where I think the next franchise in sport should go to. Whether it's United States or not, this is just my opinion. Number 5, Mexico City for football. Soccer is such the craze in Mexico City. Those fans are some of the most passionate in the world. I think just from what I've seen when they go down there in the games, I think if a team went to Mexico City, I think that there would be a great opportunity to broaden the NFL, but also really have an amazing fan base that people would love to go see and play it in front of. Number 4, one of the best fan bases in the NFL is Baltimore. The Ravens have some of the best crowds, the best loyal fans, and they're one of the biggest cities in the country that don't have a third-tier sport. They have the Orioles, and they have the Ravens. They do not have a basketball. And there's a lot of amazing basketball players that have come out of the Maryland area. Maryland's a huge powerhouse in college basketball, or, is definitely thought of being one over the last 50, 60 years. Baltimore getting a basketball. There's no professional sports team, but there's not many that have 2 of the 3 and not 3 of the 3. So Baltimore and basketball. Number 3, Nashville and baseball. Nashville, another one that has hockey. They have football with the Titans. They have they don't have basketball, and they don't have baseball. So much of the Southeast, if you look at the map, Braves country covers pretty much everywhere in the Southeast, all the way up to pretty much Texas, and all the way north maybe is St. Louis. But everything in the South going besides Florida is all Braves country. I think there needs to be another team in the Southeast, and I think Nashville really could support a baseball team. Top 2, London and football. Chance actually brought something up to me earlier about the football and possibly a division league going there. But I think London having a football team, as much as they play there, I think that would be a great location and great outside place for teams to take trips. You bond a lot when you take these longer trips. I think London and football, and then number 1's got to be Las Vegas and basketball. I think that getting a team to Vegas and basketball, it would be one of the biggest attractions in Las Vegas, and I think would be definitely a great thing for the NBA. I know you probably sit me. I thought about 2 towns, Birmingham, where we're from, having a basketball team. I mean, I just don't know how they support that. Obviously, you couldn't have an NFL team. Birmingham's almost as big as Oklahoma City or San Antonio. But they're so college crazed in this state of Alabama. I don't know how a basketball team, I think they'd come and support, but I don't know if they'd be as successful as some of these other cities. And then Kentucky. Kentucky's another place. They have a lot of history in Louisville and Lexington with basketball. Would they support a basketball team as much as they love basketball there? Would they support a pro team? I don't know. So that's why they didn't make my top 5. Chance, is there anybody I forgot? Or
not that you forgot. I'm gonna jump in on the Baltimore one. I only think that would not work out because of the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
Baltimore, Maryland to D.C. right there is only a 35-40 minute drive.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So only reason I know that is because we stayed with some friends of ours that lived in Baltimore. And that was when we went out to visit DC over 20 years ago to see the Capitol and all the buildings and stuff out there, and do the tourist thing.
So Washington has a baseball team with the Nats, and then the Baltimore has a baseball team. So you're saying that maybe a lot of Washington goes for the.
I think because they're so close. Yeah, I think they just are oil fan. Baltimore baseball fans and stuff.
Are Orioles fans, but they're basketball, they're Wizards
Yes,
fans. Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, I think that might have a little influence there. But there's always the states like Florida that have 3 teams in it that still compete. And then the other one is the Las Vegas. I think every team would benefit with a sport in Las Vegas being there. Like, if you have basketball, baseball, hockey, football, soccer, all of those in Vegas, you're just going to have more people showing up for gambling and everything. I think it was not done there because there was such a bad stigma with sports and gambling. Now it's not.
But I will say this, and I actually should have brought this up during our show, Chance, and not 5-star, but you've seen a couple people now come out and say they're, death threats to their family because of the gambling stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think at any point it's going to get to the point where they're going to rethink a lot of this stuff because of the player props and so much is now put on the end? Usually when you just used to bet back in the day, it used to be on a team. You could blame a player, but now you can just end up straight up bet on chance guess.
So no, and because of firsthand account that we all experienced in college, Vaughn was getting death threats. John Vaughn was getting death threats as a kicker at Auburn. This is before we were ever able to do the sports gambling on Bodog and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
It was literally just because you were a college fan
Okay.
and he lost the game for you on a field goal.
Okay.
So I think, and that changed actually some rules in Facebook with some threats and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to be a part of the world. As people are going to be crazy and make threats, we're going to have to figure a way to stop those people, but it's not going to change, I don't think, the sports gambling side of
Gotcha.
influence.
All right. Topic number 2. What would be the best pro sport to play? I was having this conversation on the way up here with a buddy about his son plays 4 different sports. And I'm thinking to myself, what would be the best sport to play overall? Adding everything into it. What would be the best pro sport to play in the United States? Number 5, I think it would be soccer. It was between hockey and soccer. I think hockey would be so physical, being so sore. You do get to travel cities, but I think soccer is one of those things you still get to play for your club team, but there's some really, passionate fans. I think it would be, you're outside. It was just a tough call.
Is this list based off of you're one of the best players in that league?
You're the best players. You're one of the best players.
Okay, you're not just there on the roster?
Yeah, you're just one of the best players.
Okay. That's what I was curious
I think the only thing I have to pick soccer over hockey is the physical beating and the losing teeth of hockey. So soccer's 5. Number 4 is football. You'd probably think, because I love football so much, or we love football so much, it would be higher on the list. I still think the 16-game schedule, the injuries, playing against grown men all the time, I think that it would just be, you go to these cities, you're pretty much there for 1-2 days at the most, and it's pretty much all business. And there's such a long recovery time. I think that, I know you have a longer off season because the schedule's not as long, but football will be number 4. Number 3 is basketball. I think the basketball is lower on this list because there's so much travel from city to city. Again, you're in a town for maybe one night and then you're off to the next city. You're playing back-to-backs a lot. 82-game regular season. It would be good. I think basketball is one of the most fun sports to play. It's not too grueling on the body to play a full game or play 20, 30 minutes to make the money you make. The team's not as much, so you got a chance more to play instead of sitting the bench. But I still think that just being in the one city for one night and travel is what brought it down the list. Number 2 is golf. You get to go for a whole weekend, play to get a check, and get to spend the whole weekend there. You pretty much don't work any nights. You do have to wake up early in some mornings, but you know what you need to get to be able to make the amount of money you make, and it's set there. So I think to me, it's like everything's right in front of you. And you get to travel and play some of the nicest golf courses in the world. I think the only thing that can make golf better on the list is if you could use a golf cart. Having to walk every hole.
No, you're already not doing enough. They need to make them walk.
I'm just telling you, golf is so much more fun when you can use a golf cart.
Yeah, for us. We're not.
No, not for you because you usually wreck the golf cart. But yes. All right, and then number 1 is baseball.
Talk about travel.
Yeah. But again, baseball. You were in a town for 3 nights. You go to Chicago, you get to stay there for 3 nights. And then you go the next to Los Angeles for 3 nights. So at least it's somewhat, yes, you're away from your family for a long period of time. That's the downside of baseball. But I think that you actually, as a player, you get to go and just be at peace if you have a night game, you may not have it. Then you have a day game, you may not have another game for another day and a half. So I think there's more just downtime. You get to explore the cities. Really, I think there's more people that talk about baseball is the fact that like you actually get to enjoy a lot more than just getting in and getting out.
Yeah, leaving on a plane and flying out.
Exactly. And the games are 3 hours. You know.
I think you just spend a lot more time doing nothing in that sport as a pro.
But again, you're going to some of the best cities in the country to be able to go hang with your boy. I mean, if me, you, and Brett and a couple of our buddies were on a baseball team together and we went to Miami, you can enjoy Miami for the couple of days you're there. But also the side of baseball's a failure sport. Right now, if you go 2 out of 10 or 2.5 out of 10 and you get on base, you're in the major leagues.
Yeah.
None of these sports, if you failed 80% of the time, you'd still be a professional. So you get to travel the world, get to spend pretty much 3 days in every city you go to, and if you fail, you're still going to be able to do pretty well. So that to me is why baseball's number one. So
Okay.
Chance?
Baseball would not even make my list, but we know why. I just don't like baseball. But money-wise, it's probably one of the most lucrative for the odds of not having to do much. But again, injuries. I think baseball players still get as injured. I know when I was going through my knee surgeries, it was Aaron Rodriguez, Jeter, other people that were all getting injuries. A-Rod, yeah, I was thinking of just A-Rod.
Aaron Rodriguez. Who the heck is Aaron Rodriguez?
Yeah, they were getting injured and having to go to Lee Mack and his name too. So I mean, there's injuries in there as well. But it's funny how I know how competitive you are, but yet your top sports were all non-contact. I thought that was very funny.
Again, I just think the less what is going to be the best.
It's a business decision.
A business decision of like, hey, this is not going to. I'm not getting crushed and concussions and everything. Like golf probably could have been number one. Like I said, the golf thing for me was just like I said, it's. I don't know. Maybe golf should have been number one.
So, I understand his business decision behind it, and I'm going the exact opposite, but that's because I'm an adrenaline junkie. And, I mean, golf, because of the money, would be 5 on my list. Soccer at number 4, because I think just that sport, if you're one of the best in it, who cares what country you're in?
Yeah.
You're the best in the world.
Yeah. He made a lot of money, too.
Yeah. So, I think that would have been my number 4. And then I'm going to put... what is it? I don't think I would want basketball.
Okay.
I think, like you said, the traveling and stuff, so I think that puts it right off my list. I want football to be 2.
Okay.
So
what's 1?
So 1's going to be F1.
Oh, God. You and the F1.
No, if you think about it, that's the biggest adrenaline rush in a pro sport.
We didn't say anything about NASCAR.
We didn't, but NASCAR's just going in circles mostly.
Yeah, F1,
200 miles an hour, doing all that. I mean, my daughter got me into it more than I already was, but when you look at the numbers behind it, I think the car that they're in is like a $14 million car, and they have 4 of them throughout the year.
Jeez.
And if you wreck one, you wrecked a $14 million car, and then you're just thrown into another one. So, like, the money behind it, I think, is way more lucrative than anybody pays attention to, but it's also from the
that
sponsors
surprised me.
and stuff
F1,
like that.
wow.
That would be my number 1, because if you think about it, you're not getting beat up all the time. You're training yourself, and then there's that risk of that one bad wreck or collision that might hurt you, but usually you're still safe afterwards. That would have been mine, but again, it's one of the higher risk ones too, and dangerous. That's why they get paid for it.
And you're sitting down the whole time while working.
But you're going 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's our list. We'll see you next week. We'll have World Series set. We'll have NBA Finals pretty much. Maybe a series of 2-2. We'll see how that plays out. But enjoy your weekend. Enjoy June. Tide and Tigers.